It's Gary Parr, it's Fiber Talk, and I'm here at Sassy Jack's in Weaverville, North Carolina with Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea Sampler. This is one that's coming up.
Yes, this is a release that will be coming out in the next month or so. And it's not framed because literally I stretched and laced this just before I left to come over for the workshops.
You know, let's speaking of lacing, let's take a look at that before we get into the sampler, because I think it's fascinating, the lacing that goes on back here. And you do this lacing yourself.
I do, yes. This is probably not the best one to show you.
That's okay. People get the idea.
Yeah.
But and you can see where you've tied strings together, because you certainly can't have a long enough string to deal with all that.
That's right. These little knots are where you join the thread together, and it's a special little knot. I do not know what it's called, but it's one that when it's locked in place, you cannot pull the knot apart.
Yeah, I just think people should see what a proper lace job looks like.
Well, this is probably not the best one to show you.
Nicola, it's square and even, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then it's good.
But this is quite a waste of linen. But we decided we weren't going to do anything with this linen, so we just left it on here.
Okay, back to the pretty side. But
okay.
I just think it's interesting for people to see that. Anna.
Okay, Anna Tench, aged 11, March the 13th, 1819. And the first thing that your eyes go to are these two little girls with their mop of curls, and they could possibly be twins and most certainly sisters that are very close together in age. They are adorable, and of course the cats.
Yes.
They're three cats. You've got two adult cats, one just curled up next to the girl sitting. Then you have another adult cat that this little girl is holding up and cuddling. And look at those whiskers.
Yep. That's the piece for me, the whiskers.
The whiskers.
Now, were they on the original?
Absolutely. This is stitch for stitch as the original.
So it was in that good a shape that those whiskers, because those would have come off.
That's right. Now, this has been reproduced by Sandra Moffat, who lives in Australia, and she has charted it and stitched it. And Sandra is such a gifted needle worker. Every little stitch on this sampler is just perfectly executed.
Beautiful work.
Yeah.
I love that little one in the lap.
Isn't it sweet? But as you move around the sampler,
you know, the folds in the dresses.
Yes.
All the details, so nice.
That's right.
Yes.
There's a lot, even just down to this little flower. Just a little flower there, and then this pot, the butterfly.
The border is beautiful.
Isn't it just? The colours, and these are the colours on the original sampler. These flowers, they're so pretty. And then this band is almost like a patterned carpet, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And then if you move down, Gary, these little birds here are very pretty. And then you've got tiny little birds stitched over two on top of these flowers. And these flowers are very, very pretty as well.
Yeah, there's birds and flowers all across that bottom.
That's right.
Yes.
Such a sweet sampler. And I know there's a lot of stitchers who have had glimpses of this when we've done sneak peeks. There's a lot of people waiting to stitch this sampler, and we're very, very excited to make her available. But this sampler has a twist.
Okay.
So this is the...
I'm braced for the twist.
You're braced for it. Okay. This is the reproduction sampler, but Sandra stitched two. She has two granddaughters who are both adorable, and these girls remind us of her darling granddaughters. So she stitched two. So we have a second version. Now the second version has been stitched from the cross-stitch chart on the reproduction.
Okay.
But Sandra has become creative. she has substituted many of the cross stitches with different types of stitches. In fact, I think there's over 20 different stitches in this piece. I may be wrong on that number, but I believe it's about 20 different stitches.
Okay. And we can see it right in the border here,
right,
side by
so
each, can't we? Yes.
That's right. You can see that Sandra has stitched these with satin stitches.
Completely changes the look.
It does, doesn't it? The butterflies.
Yeah, those eyelets?
I believe they're eyelets. Yes, those are eyelets.
Mm-hmm.
The birds here have become stem stitched. The little flowers here, they're all little French knots.
Oh, they are. Oh, let's see if I can get to the side there. Look at that.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
These flowers are satin stitched. Look at these.
Oh, yes.
Look at the little leaves.
Eyelets there too, just below it, yeah.
And look at the little. I'm not sure all these stitches. I haven't got my embroidery glasses on, so it's a little bit fuzzy with me looking at it.
Oh, look what she did look at that. In the dresses, let me go over to the original. And the dresses are all straight cross stitch.
And their faces are cross stitched over too.
Yes.
But Sandra has substituted the faces as tent stitch, which allows you to get that little bit more definition and detail.
And then look what she did in the dresses. Wow, she went nuts. Go, Sandra, that's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
She brought those right to life. That's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well done. Cats kept their whiskers. Good.
Oh yes, they've got to have their whiskers. And look at this little border now.
Yes, let's go back.
And the reason that we want, we thought it was a lovely idea for Sandra to stitch two for both of her granddaughters. But we wanted to show on the second one what you can do and become creative. And you often see samplers that are clearly from the same school and based on the same sampler, but stitched differently. Eliza Bell Cox, the one that we reproduced, was all in cross stitch, but in the Fellows book there is another sampler that's clearly from the same school but has been stitched with speciality stitches. So we wanted to follow in these little girls' footsteps and stitch one, putting in different stitches to show other needle workers what they can do with some creativity. So this isn't a reproduction, but we followed in the footsteps of little girls at this time. You have very noisy sirens in the States. Look at this.
Because those, down at the bottom, those are all French knots in those pots, aren't they? Those flowers?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Look at this beautiful, I'm not sure if this is rice stitch. I'm sorry, without my proper glasses.
Well, could be, hard to say. But she really brought that to life.
Absolutely.
Which was this.
This is beautiful.
Right.
But this jumps out at you.
All kinds of dimension now added to this.
Look at these little flowers here. Aren't those beautiful?
Yes.
I'm sure those are lazy daisy stitches.
It looks like it, yep. Here they are, sure. Oh, wow.
So in the booklet, you only have a cross-stitch chart, but that's all Sandra used to stitch the second sampler, and she just got creative.
But now you include the second photo?
Oh, absolutely.
In the chart,
yes, you get both photographs, and we will put a list of all the stitches that Sandra used, so that you could follow in her footsteps exactly. But we hope that stitchers go their own way with it, and it would be lovely to see all the different versions and how we can make samplers our own.
I'm amazed at what she did with those dresses.
Fabulous.
Really nice.
Honestly, Sandra is such a gifted needle worker.
Yeah, there is some talent there, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And see, it's interesting to me because now I've looked at these two in the 2 days we've been here more than once. And until we sat down and really explored them, I did not realize all that was in the second one.
I know. You always have to stop and take time to look at a sampler. Now, the other interesting thing, these samplers are slightly different proportions, and that's nothing to do with the chart. These two were stitched out of the same piece of linen, but one was stitched horizontally and the other one was stitched vertically. And it goes to show that even though linen is sold as even weave, that it isn't always even weave, and it's only a small difference. You can see there is a slight difference in proportion.
Well, they're both beautiful.
They are, aren't they? We're very chuffed with these, and we're very, very excited to share them with needleworkers, and we can't wait to see the creativity that other needleworkers will show us.
Excellent. All right, thanks, Nicola.
You are so welcome. Bye-bye.